Should we start? I know you have been following this tea app
Hmm.
hack,
Yeah.
and in our very long, copious note document, I was like, ooh, I don't really know that much about this. I did spend some time poking around, but maybe you want to update folks on
Yeah.
what's going on there.
Yeah. So the T app, I only even learned that it existed last week, like early last week. It was getting really buzzy. It's basically an app that allows women to warn other women about men who have sort of behaved badly
Mm-hmm.
in the dating world. But it also lets you do like background searches, background checks,
Hmm.
and it lets
Mhm.
you like take a photo that you found on a dating app and then do a reverse image search to kind of to see if it's like, someone's catfishing, basically.
Mhm.
Um, and so, but like I think the piece that got a lot of attention is that women were, posting in forums basically saying like, I'm about to go on a date with this guy. Like, has anyone had bad experiences with him? So it was sort of a digital whisper network for
Right.
women who are dating men. Um, and that made a lot of men really unhappy.
So
Um,
surprising.
and a lot of those men are on 4chan. And so the app was hacked, and something like 72,000 images were exposed. And among those images were like selfies and also ID cards, like driver's licenses, that were used as part of the verification process
Mm.
for getting an account so that you could like verify who you are, and that you're just not a random troll, that you're like posting information about someone, and that your identity has been verified. But now all that information is out there floating around on 4chan, and like a lot of people are encouraging others to sort through it and like make maps like of where all these women live.
Oh my gosh.
It's horrible. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, I think like the sentiment that I keep seeing expressed online is basically like, okay, so women decided to turn to an app because they were feeling unsafe, like either emotionally, physically, whatever the case may be, in the dating world.
Right.
And so we're looking for basically support from other women. And in response, some men have taken to, releasing their private information and putting it on the internet.
Right. What's interesting to me is that as I was like trying to get more information about it, most of what I saw was like critiquing the app itself in the way in which like part of how I understand the app, right, is that you can post about people who are sort of like men who are generally low grade, not that
Yeah.
great, and then
Hmm.
also like really abusive men.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that that is what has risen to the top of the cultural conversation around this, not all these women getting doxxed.
Yeah. Right. And like, I'm sure feeling very unsafe. And I mean, I can't imagine the terror that someone would be in right now if they were, because of the level of vitriol that this app was met with, you know? Um, and it's interesting to me because, like, s- one of the most interesting pieces is that there is a desire for this kind of app, which
Right.
speaks to the reality that a lot of women are experiencing in the straight dating world.
Right. 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 Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. Like this critique too that I've seen that like the app just sort of devolved into like women's gossip. And I feel like we could spend like a full
Mm,
hour talking about like the value of gossip,
yeah.
especially like within straight culture.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's
One, of course, it makes me think of, the shitty media men list and all of that. It like brought me right back to that sort of. But this is obviously very different. Like to have this kind of thing turned into an app that's in the App Store. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Um, should we transition to the Evie MILF essay that went
yes.
viral on Substack this week?
Yes. One more thing I wanted to say about the
Yes.
app, though, that I think is interesting is something that we've been talking